Hi everybody, so in this video I'm going to work through some specific examples from today's work. We've already seen the learning video and just going to work through some examples from the particular problems that you're doing in this one. So starting off with challenge 1, and work out the percentages. Now these are all just finding the percent of the whole amount, which we've gone over in our learning video. So just remembering for this one that 50% is the same as a half, 25% is the same as a quarter, and 10% is the same as 1/10. And you can use those facts to solve those problems. In challenge 2, you're going to be using the same skills, but they're in word problems this time. So let's look at A for an example, which tells us that 50% of the class brought packed lunch today, and the rest ate school after dinner or ate school dinner. What fraction ate school dinner? Now this one isn't even asking you to find out the fraction of a whole amount, it's just asking you what the fraction is. So if I know that 50% is the same as a half, and then I know that there must be another half of the class that ate the school dinner. So half brought their packed lunch. And that means that half ate school dinner. What this question is really asking you, it's really testing to see whether you know that 50% is a half, which you do, hopefully, because you've learned your equivalents. If you look at question D, for example, out of 80 questions in the test, I get 60% right. How many questions did I get right? Well, in this question, you're finding 60% or 6/10 of 80. And again, if you're not sure how to do that, refer back to the learning video just to check out again how you do that. But you'll be fine as long as you remember our rule: divide by the bottom and multiply by the top. Divide 80 by 10 and then multiply whatever that is by 6. As you can see for challenge 2, your question 1 there is asking you again just to work out the percentages. So again, what you're going to have to do is change the percentage into a fraction and find out the fraction of the whole amount there. The important thing to remember for this one at the end of your sum is to record your sum in the same units of measurement that the question is. So for example, A is going to be in pounds, G would be in kilometres, and E would be in grams, and so on. So make sure that you use your unit of measure with your answer. And that's very important to do because you can't get the question right if you don't include that as it is in the question. So make sure you do that. If you do the hard part, don't leave out the easy part at the end. Similarly to challenge 1, whenever you get the question 2 of challenge 2, they're in word problems. Okay, so let's look at a couple just for an example here. The important thing is that you read the question really carefully. So there are 170 people living in a street. If 70% of them own a car, how many of them do not own a car? Now straight away when I read that problem, I'm underlining do not, because I want to remember at the end that once I work out my percentage, I have something else to do. So I'm going to demonstrate that one for you just for example, okay? So 70% is 7/10. And I have to find 7/10 of 170. So divide by the bottom, gives me 17. And multiply by the top, gives me 119. Okay, now that means 70% of them own a car. So I know that 119 own a car, but I have to remember the question asks me how many do not own a car. So 170 altogether, 119 of them own a car. So I have to do my taking away there to find out how many don't own a car, which is 51. So make sure you read the question properly. It'll be very easy to do the sum, do the hard part, and then get the question wrong because you haven't checked what they're asking for. So always double check before you move on to the next question. It's very similar for challenge 3. Your first question, you have to work out these percentages. Again, please remember to put the unit of measurement at the end of your answer to ensure you get it right. Question 2, write some instructions for finding percentages that end in a multiple of 5. Now if you go back to the learning video, I've talked you through a couple of ways that you can do that. So you can go back and check that out, which will help you write a good answer for question 2, hopefully. And question 3 here is a two-part problem. The school hall has a new multicoloured rug chosen by the head teacher. Look at the picture below and what percentage of the rug is each colour. Okay, so think about how you would do that one. It's a bit more of a thinking one there. You've a few steps to work through before you find the answer. Please make sure that you show us your working out for that one, because there's a lot of working out to do, and your working out is really just as important as your answer. We need to see the strategies that you're using to get the answer. If the rug cost a total of £2,450, what would each colour have cost? You can only work that one out once you've done A. There's a lot to do in this question, so read it a few times, think about it very carefully before you try to answer it. Okay, so just some final answer or final important points to review before you start your work. To find the percentage of a whole amount, the first thing you do is change the percentage to its equivalent fraction. Second thing you do is find the fraction of the whole amount. You do that by dividing by the bottom, multiplying by the top. Number 3, what was the question asking for? So in particular with word problems, just make sure that you're giving the information that the question is asking. And number 4, was there a unit of measure to add in, like pounds, grams, centimetres, or anything else like that? If you get stuck, refer back to the learning video. Okay, good luck everybody.